All right, time has come, guys. We're in the house. We've got our Twinette, which is our double-sided tape from Sega, and we've got our Sega Majrex. Sega Majrex is a advanced smart vapor barrier, and the way you can think about this is like a cactus. In the summer, the hot heat, it's gonna hold the moisture and not allow it to escape the cactus, but in the cold nights when things get dewy, it can let that moisture out. Same thing in your house. When moisture gets in your wall cavities, you want it to be able to breathe inward, and depending on the time of year, the humidity, the temperature, moisture will move through the wall at different rates, different ways, inward, outward. And this product is, I do believe, the only one on the market that allows your wall cavity to dry inward, but also not allow moisture into the cavity when it's trying to push from the, like, let's say, heated side to a cold exterior wall. So we like it. It is expensive, and it is definitely a little bit more tedious than just putting up a poly on the wall. One, because it's not full length floor to ceiling, but it provides a great end result and a very efficient home, very comfortable home. So what we need to do is prep work. We're getting everything cleaned off the walls. We're getting all the nails that are out of the way out of the way. We're getting everything cleaned up, and then we're gonna start running all of our Twinette. This will allow us to not have to use a ton of fasteners, which anytime you have penetrations in your air control or vapor layer, that can introduce problems. Now, the cool thing is, this is the first project where we now own a blower door. So we're going to actually do the entire air control layer, turn this into basically a very tight big box. We're not gonna cut out windows, we're not gonna cut out doors, we're not gonna have HVA systems hopefully penetrating anywhere. We're gonna try to keep the subs out, or at least away from it. And we're gonna do a blower door before we do any of those penetrations and see how tight we can make it. And then we'll be able to kind of do tests randomly and see, okay, well, we just cut all the windows open, we lost 0.4 ACH, or hey, the windows are actually great. So stick around for that, but let's get into the Majrex. I'm excited, cover up all this rock wool that looks great, but I'm tired of it falling down, birds trying to get into it and everything else. So Greg's getting a laser set up so we can know exactly where the height is gonna be, and I think we're pretty well cleaned up and ready to roll this. Oh, also, Cole's over here. If you're wondering what the heck he's doing, we've got a straight edge 2x4, and he's running that post to post and giving us a line on the ground. That line on the ground is where our tape will eventually be. So, 1 second there, buddy. There you go. I don't know what you're on, but make sure you're low. So that's actually pretty important because we have no bottom plate. We have nowhere to really secure our tape to. It's gonna get secured to the concrete, which is great, but it's a little bit difficult. So that line is very important.
Oh my gosh.
Where's 59? Huh. Let's leave this up for now. Just clear the low ones. Okay, this product runs much better when it is ran as straight as possible. So Greg, right here's my mark, buddy. See what you can get with the laser. So a laser is just easier than a snap line, easier to see, easier to set up, and it's gonna be perfectly level. So if you have your Majrex doing this down a wall and it's all wrinkly, it just won't tape as well, and then you have fish mouthing when you put your tape on it. I'll show you what that is later. And then that also lets in air and moisture, so it's not good. Maybe just a hair more up. More. Good enough. Okay, all right, so next thing that we've learned running Majrex, because we have no bottom plate, is if we apply our tape to the Majrex first, it does make this much easier also. So we'll go ahead and lay this out, get it cut to length, and then put our tape on before we put it on the wall. Go that way. Yep, just like that. Keep going, keep going. All right, there you go, buddy.
Stop being so sticky.
Okay, put me on the end, buddy. 30'9" 5/8", he says. Put my tape measure on on one of the like X's, the squares, the first full one. Where's it go? About there?
Right there.
Okay, all right. Okay, perfect. Your job is you're gonna keep rolling this thing out, but just don't stick into this. That's what I do. So I get it there. You're holding this thing up and help. You're my blessed assistant, dude.
Blessed assistant. Why don't you call me that?
So I'm just taking it to the line, Cole. Okay. All right, buddy, come on. Now, next step. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna lift this up, pull this out, go down, and you got the squeegee on you? Okay, so we kind of work out from the middle out, and we just give it a little bit of tension straight down, like so, and you run your squeegee tight on this guy here, okay? We gotta go squeegee over all that twinette. That's what gives it its stickiness or adhesion. The heck? Oh, good enough. This might not be too bad. Okay, so what I have to do is kind of a twofold thing. I need to get it stuck to the Majrex, which is not super easy, and I don't have a ton of it left. I don't know what the solution is here. Yeah, that's not it. I think I have to kind of, there's a little bit of like static electricity, so when I pull the tape, it kind of automatically sticks to it. And then you can kind of come in here and you can make sure that it's good and stuck. That's why it's very important what Cole was doing. I wanted him to do a good job of squeegeeing that 1/4 inch fold. So you'll come through, set it on the line, and then just run your finger in this little bit here that is tight to the concrete. Okay? Now you take your squeegee, the soft one. You got 2 squeegees, right? That's the soft one, perfect. Now, you can do this. Run that sucker over, take out any little bubbles you see. This is the most important part right here. See? Make sure that's on that line. Get this to seal down. Now here's another suggestion. Do you see this right here? See how that's like loose? What I would recommend doing is probably taking, here, let's go a little bit further and I'll show you. Let's get this. Okay. See, I'm getting it stuck to the Majrex. Okay. Getting it pretty close to my line. There's a pipe right here. This is good though, because see this pipe and see this crack? We're covering it. We're going to the solid concrete so that there no air is gonna come up through underneath the slab or in these spots like this.
Yeah.
Okay. Get that on. And then look, do this first and get that kind of with your, kind of with your finger. Just get it kind of where you like it. So that way you don't have this big air bubble in there where the concrete is different. This is only gonna happen when the wall is slightly higher than our floor, and then run your squeegee over it. That is beautiful, okay? You maintain that, you'll have, I'll go to the Asian buffet with you tonight, okay?
All right, yeah.
I may seem like I'm being anal, that's because I am being anal. On purpose. This is literally the most important part to this home's efficiency, longevity, quality of like comfort, and all those things will happen because of a good, solid air control layer. Okay, cool. So now we can get this taped up while Greg's doing that. And it's not gonna be easy, but if anybody could do it, it'd be me and you, Cole. Awesome.
Man, I wish this roll was a little tighter so it wouldn't like unroll on me.
Dang it, Greg.
That fell.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm not mad. I'm not mad.
I know, just majorly disappointed.
Come on, Greg. You know better.
Always lay it flat, Greg. What are you doing?
He doesn't know any better. It's
It's my first time.
he was born that way. You know what I don't like about this, Greg? I'm relying on my top board as a perfectly straight line.
Should be.
Well, should. That's famous assumptions. Post.
Yeah.
Okay, just don't let it go in there because I got to get this other one.
I'm trying to hold it out.
Yep.
Bottom two.
Yeah. All right, squeege. So this is kind of unfortunate because when you've got Majrex, you've got this line here, which is your tape line. So when this joint comes over top, you want your tape to go from here over, and that's your minimum taping. You also want an overlap like this. I don't know what we're gonna do here, but I do have, I think it's 6-inch tape. Maybe it's 5-inch tape, I don't know, I'm gonna go check. We might just be able to tape right across this whole joint because the tape isn't allowing that air or moisture to go through anyway, so I don't think it's a big deal. I might call my buddy Etienne, who's the CEO of Sega, and see what he thinks about this. I'll send him a picture, but I just don't think it's worth cutting a piece of Majrex to go from here to here, only to tape it here to here, when maybe we can tape it from top to bottom and just have a fat piece of tape there. I don't know.
Nothing.
Just my new stapler.
I thought it was broken for a second.
I was gonna be so mad.
Wait, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet.
Go ahead and get to the door there, just don't take it tight. Oh, I see what you got going. Okay, cool, 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 cool.
Like that, like that, like that. Let me know. Yeah, after doing it for so long, you learn things. You learned that now.
Pull that plastic off. Okay, now here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna be in line with your post. Look, just hold the bottom. Okay. Let me get on the other side of this stupid pipe. Okay. And you're gonna keep it taut, okay? Keep it taut. So it's like, you're not gonna go to the post, you're gonna leave away from the post. Then you're gonna take your hand and go right down the post nice and tight. Well, hold on, actually. Look at this. Stupid. Okay, now do it. Good. Oh, shoot. You didn't pull this one. That's gonna be tough. We'll get it.
Ooh.
It's all right. It's all right.
Is it?
It's gonna be all right, man.
No shot.
So the one thing that we've learned, now this is like version 3.0 Sega install. It's the third time we've done it at a large scale, and every time we tried to improve the process. This time what we did is inside corners, any corner, inside corner, ceiling inside corner, floor inside corner. That's like the pain points for us in the post frame because we don't really have like solid framing in those locations. On this job, what we decided to do after learning from the last couple is add another piece of material. So we took some 3/4, slid it over the rock wool, but behind our corner board. And what that does is it gives us a nice tight corner to put 2 runs of twinette. Like you can see here, we can run this piece in, that gets twinetted, then this piece is gonna come in here, get twinetted, and then we will tape this corner. If you try to run one piece around a corner, even without, or even with like an L nailer in the corner, it's just not good, it's not tight, and then when you come run your framing through, it's gonna like wanna probably rip into that material. So it's good to have two pieces, cut them, and then just tape that joint. So this is something that we've kind of added into version 3.0, is both here having an L corner, as well as you'll notice at the ceiling, we've gone around, and even though it was extra material, we framed an L nailer in the entire ceiling corner so that we can run our Majrex on the wall to the corner, and then our ceiling will go into the corner, and then that will be our tape joint. So yeah, this is going pretty good though. Kind of just biting the bullet and getting the first row around the bottom done, because that's the hardest. And only hard because we got to run the tape at the bottom. It's not hard, it's time consuming. All right, we got really a lot of the hard work done. We got all the twinette ran. Greg got that done while Cole and I were working on getting a lot of this Majrex ran. The bottom is the hardest because we got to connect it to the concrete. And you know, this is something that I would say, if you can avoid having a lip on your concrete to your floor. Now my concrete guys shot the floor level, the wall just wasn't perfectly level. And you know, they probably could have just fudged it and made it flat, and that would have made our job easier. But I'm gonna probably come through here again with another layer of Fentrum so that I can connect over top of this crack in the slab to wall connection. But we're done for today. We're gonna go ahead and keep this running. We'll get the rest of these walls finished up, and then we're gonna have to detail that joint there in the middle, and then get it all covered up with wood so it doesn't go anywhere before our HVAC guys come in and start doing their thing. Then we'll go to the ceiling. All right, we're back here in the morning, and we got to do a little bit of work on this partition wall that we framed up the other day. One thing being, obviously, it's got to be insulated, but the second thing was we ran our girts, and you can see the remnants of those girts up top. That's actually a problem because it means that if those girts are there, our Majrex has to go over the girts. Then we don't have a service cavity for all of our wiring, and right over there by Greg is where the electrical panel is going to be in the garage. So there's going to be a lot of wiring coming through there, and we want a place for all that to go versus having to pop it all through the Majrex, and then it's just a huge pain. The service cavity makes it easy. So what we had to do, I'll show you, come over here, by this corner, what we had to do was we set up a laser, we cut these girts back. See, this is loose. And we framed in more framing behind it. That's gonna allow us to come in once our Majrex is ran and put the girts back. It also gives us a place to put twinette, and we can get around this corner, because I've talked about the inside corners being a mess. Most importantly, we're gonna have to come in, out, and then back over. So there's gonna be a weird corner here to deal with, and I think the twinette will keep it nice and tight. So now that we're getting that done, Greg's wrapping up the insulation. We've got our Majrex ran and ready to tape. We can get this done, and we should be able to whip out this Majrex install in the next hour or so, I think. And then we got to do all the taping. Uh-oh, did we get the stapler out?
Yes, actually, I did get the stapler out.
My boy, good. I'm definitely like a start on the right side and go this way type of guy, but
yeah,
I can do it, you know. I'm definitely.
I'm not gonna lie, this was a really easy roll to unroll. I don't know if it's because it's small or I did it.
Okay, stop bouncing for a second. Okay. I'm trying to beat you, Cole, but you're too fast.
It's all right, man.
This is what we learned in version 1.0. Don't put your framing underneath and have to do all this cascading layering of the paper, because you'll see in this corner specifically, it really makes it difficult to get it to lay nice. So we'll have to probably do some extra cutting and extra taping, but it'll be all right. Just
Do your best, tape the rest.
Yeah, do your best, resign the rest. This is gonna be where the fun starts. Oh man, it just really hurts my OCD, man. Blommies! All right, all the Majrex is up. Now we have one roll that hopefully, what do you think's on there, Greg? I'm gonna guess 30 feet.
Oh, this guy?
Well, here's what I know we did. I don't know if there's 30 feet. But this is our scrap roll, and instead of cutting up a whole roll
I agree.
down, we're gonna burn this up, cut it into our strips.
12 inches, right?
I don't think what is it?
10 or 12, I don't remember.
Genuinely don't remember. I feel like it was 9. Yeah, 9 inches. So we need a 9-inch roll. We'll just make a bunch of sections and then go to town. If there's like 20 feet in there, and what, we get 6 of them, that's 180. That would do it. I'm gonna die in one of these pits, dude. Yes, made it to the door.
Made it to the door!
Or the window. We got all of our Majrex up that we need up. Now it's time to tape this center joint, and then we can move on to our framing. And for the tape, we're gonna be using Siga Resin. That's what it's made for. It's good stuff. We do got 2 different sizes. We got our 60 and our 100, which is metric for something. I'm gonna guess 2 3/4 and maybe 4 inch. What do you think? Just maybe a little under 4. Yeah, 3 7/8. Difference is this one has split backing, so you can do one side and then the other. This is good for your corners. And then this is just a single backing, so this is good for our overlaps. This is where we might do a double tape. I don't know. Siga recommends a 4-inch overlap. I've tried to rack through my brain why that would be better than a 2-inch overlap, because in my mind, 1 layer of Majrex, how does that change at the joint when there's 2 layers? If the tape is doing its job, what does the extra overlap do? I don't know, but that's what they recommend. So maybe we'll run another row of tape here since we're only at like 2 inches. Look at that, first roll done, dude. That was easy. All right, guys, this is what I'm talking about when I say fish mouthing, and when your Majrex is not tight. This is what can happen right here, and I'm sure with the shadows, because it's super dark in here and we're by a window, you can see this. This is the fish mouth, when your material is not tight to the tape, okay? So what we are going to do there, is we're just gonna take another piece of tape and try to go right across it. So avoiding, hopefully, any more fish mouthing on the top side. So we wanna try to kind of just press this tape in. And then once we're through it, we'll just cut it. But that's what we try to avoid, is the fish mouth like that. And I knew this was gonna be the problem areas because the Majrex going around this framing, once again, why we've moved on to version 3.0, where we try to reduce all framing that's not in plane with our columns, so we don't have this that's going on up here. But one spot, not too bad. Okay, let's make sure we like this before we go crazy. All right, so the 100 has a split backing. So that's gonna be nice for corners, because if you don't have the split backing, then when you put it in the corner, the other side will stick and it's really hard to get it in. So Cole, here's what I'm gonna, well, just go down to the bottom if you can, and just keep the piece kind of taut a little bit, not too tight. Oh Oh man, just gotta work out them. We don't want any fish mouth. I was getting a little greedy, went a little fast. There, now even though it looks pretty to have a nice tight corner, it doesn't really care about looks. It's more about when we start putting our framing in the corner. If it's a loose corner and it just rounds the edge and you put a piece of material, lumber, whatever in there, it could tear the tape and then it's not gonna be as effective. So that's really the main purpose for the tight corner. All right, 1 down, 3 to go. Thanks, Cole. Okay, constant improvement, doing corners. And you guys might be like, yeah, that makes sense. Leave it folded. Keep it tight in your corner. Now, you can come through and just stick this side a lot quicker than what I was doing on the last corner where I was opening it up and trying to get it set. I don't really care about that. We're just making sure that this is right tight in the corner. Another reason why it's important to have your Majrex tight and cut off, because if it's not cut, it makes this even harder. Okay, so we do that. Squeegee. Open it up. Also, trick number 274. Don't peel the backing. Take your finger and run it right across this face here, like so. Sorry, this is just flopping. See that? It rolls the material right off the backing. It's another little trick for faster tape. Okay, then once you get that set, we're already pretty tight in the corner. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure that was probably about twice as fast as the last corner. Majrex is officially done on the walls, tapes, everything is good to go. And now it's time to get it all framed up. We're gonna do a 2-foot on center framing. A lot of people ask about drywall and a post frame and how you do it. We're not a fan of bookshelf girts, okay? People always wanna know, why do you run your girts flat on the wall versus inside the wall cavity so that you can use them both on the inside and the outside materials? 2 reasons. 1, thermal bridging. All that lumber is a thermal bridge to the inside. It's not a good insulator. We have a complete bay of insulation. Boom, that's great, right? That's one reason. Second reason is the service cavity. By having our framing on the inside, it allows you to have your air control layer basically undisturbed, and all of your electrical and a lot of the plumbing can even be ran behind your framing, but inside the air control layer, or down the length of the framing instead of having to come in and out of the air control layer for every penetration, every electrical box, every light. So that's why we do it. Greg, the thing we got to remember is through the kitchen, we need to, hold it. Through the kitchen, we need to make sure we remember to look at the kitchen layout if he has it yet. I don't know if he's finalized that or not.
I think it was on those plans I gave you. Well, actually,
I know there's no upper cabinets by the window, but if there's upper cabinets to the right, we just got to make sure we do some horizontal framing. That is the one downside of post frame. You don't just have a stud every 16, you have girts every 24 inches. Good for some things, bad for others. One of the bad things is when you're hanging cabinets on the wall, there's nothing there. But it is really easy for blocking because when you know your cabinets are going to start at 54 inches, boom, just run a 2x at 54 inches or centered, and then every cabinet will hit a solid piece of wood everywhere. You don't have to find a stud. So it's kind of give or take. You just got to remember those things. And over the years, we've forgotten many times. So we're getting better. Right on our laser line. And all of our nails will try to hit right through where our twinette is. That way we're creating some form of a seal hopefully. Down a little more. Up. Up a little. Good enough, good enough. Hold it, hold it. Down 3/8. Hold it. Still more, dude. Give it a good crank. That wasn't enough, I don't think.
That's a good crank. More?
Yeah, a little more. Hey, stop moving it for a second. We're gonna do that blower door test because we wanna see how good of a score we can get without any penetrations. And that's messing us up just a little bit because normally what we would do at this stage is we would cut our Majrex at the window frame, seal tape the window frame closed, and then do our framing. Since we're not gonna cut this Majrex and we're gonna frame, we have to come back and frame or cut the frame out around the windows. That's gonna then cut the Majrex. We don't want to cut the Majrex, right? We want to be able to tape that. So our idea is we're gonna screw around the windows our framing so that we can undo those screws slightly, enough to get the wood off the Majrex and make our cuts. The second thing that we've decided is instead of cutting around the perimeter, we're actually going to just do like a typical like house wrap angle cut on our windows, and then we're going to tuck it and staple it underneath our window. And this whole ceiling is like version 3 of Windows because we've never done this, but I think it's gonna save us tape and it might actually make it an even better connection. You'll have to stay tuned for that because that won't be until we cut open the windows. So, you know, you have to kind of look forward into the project and think about the pain points and try to make them as easy as possible now. And we've done this enough that we kind of know what's gonna happen. So we're hoping that this helps us out. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, if this doesn't make a lot of sense, I'm sorry. But as you watch the video series, I'll try to point out why we did what we did later when we get to air sealing these window cavities. All right, so can't screw, can't fasten. Here we're gonna screw, and that is so when it's time to cut this out, we can unscrew, pull it apart enough to make a cut and not cut through the Majrex. So I'm not gonna go crazy on screws, I'm just gonna put one in to hold it for now. Okay, it's all you now. You know, sometimes the boards just aren't perfectly flat. You can nail them, but that doesn't always work out as good as a good healthy GRK. So when you get some good twist on a girt, screw it flat. That's for your header. Perfect tightness, buddy. Let's go. Okay, cool, man. We're done, dude. That is all the framing that we're gonna do for now. We got all the window blocking to do. We've got some random headers to do, but basically we're gonna leave that off until we're ready to cut the windows open. And then that won't be until we get the ceiling done. So what we have to do next is let our contractor get in here. He's gonna run the main trunk through the ceiling for all the HVAC. That's gonna be coming from that room we built out in the garage. He'll get all that ran, then we'll put our Majrex up, do our under ceiling framing that gives us our cervix cavity for all the ceiling wiring and lights. Then we're gonna do a blower door test in here, which I'm pumped for. So stay tuned if you want to see how that goes together, as well as how we detail the air control layer at all the windows and doors. That'll come later, but that's a wrap for this video, guys. We're gonna get out of here. We'll catch you on the next video. Have a good one. Thanks a lot.